before the braai. So this meat was just coming out, like the snacks or whatever that we were now topping. He was like, have you ever had lamb octopus?
Sorry?
Nope. Never.
What does that mean?
Lamb octopus are these little strips of lamb that they sell at Impala Butchery with just a little bit of fat on the thing. And they bro, like probably the most delicious. And I'm not a big lamb fan.
Yeah.
It was so good. So there, go get some
I had
lamb.
lamb
octopus.
Animals in one sounds
Yes.
rough to me.
You know what for some lamb octopus?
Because it looks like tentacles,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
everyone's like, what is that? And then you taste it. It's just lamb. It's,
Yeah.
there's no hybrid animal.
Yes. I think I'm going to take a little trip down there.
I
today.
reckon also.
I'm fine. I'll hear from you.
Are you vegan now?
I'm not vegan at all. That just sounds, maybe if I see it, it sounds rough at the moment, but if I see it and taste it, maybe I'll
Would you
be like,
eat skilpaakies?
nope, I don't do that.
I've
Don't
never
do mur-
actually had a very clear idea of what a skilpaakie is.
Ooh. Okay. Well,
Is
we
it brains?
got to get into this.
Okay,
This is
okay,
good
okay.
stuff.
This is rough.
Okay.
Soft open.
Yeah.
This is a soft open.
Was that the opening? Did we roll on that?
We're ready already. But we've got a producer. Lilani is on it.
That's gonna be great little B-roll little stuff.
Bo's reaction to the lamb octopus.
I was like, just close ups of my face. Ugh. Cold open. I want to confess something to you. Every morning, I need to drop off Larique at school.
Yeah.
And what I've realized this morning is I think I'm developing some form of entry-level road rage, because there's people I've been so calm in traffic.
Yeah.
But every morning there's just some guy that cuts me off, and he's also on his way somewhere important. Don't want to take away what he's busy with doing in his life.
Yeah.
But it's just
Same guy.
he drive not the same guy, but it was what he did was rough. He literally was a single lane. He passed everyone, probably 20 cars, and he went through the green light in front of everyone. And he did it twice because I went after him, not thinking what I was going to do when I reached him, because I'm not a violent guy. But I just had to face the fact that I'm changing and I'm getting more less patient in traffic.
So yeah, this is a conversation for another day. But there's a little U-shaped corner just before the school drop off, and everybody always shaves when
I
they
know.
come into the lane. So and it's malicious, it's vindictive the way that I drive into that. I'm like, creep over that line. I'm gonna, because I hold my line perfectly.
I know, exactly.
And then I watch them like readjust. They panic. They, oh, sorry. And I'm like, yeah. Learn to drive properly. K53, baby. But anyways, this is the opening.
We'll go to what do you call it? Anger management together.
I don't think you must go together. We're just gonna make each other angrier.
Yeah.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of How's Life with Temba and Boa.
Yeah. And this is I don't know how many episodes.
I don't know. All I know, it's the first time he's accepted it being the Temba and Boa way around, so that's good.
I moved on. The second season will be How's Life with Boa and Temba.
It's a fair trade.
Okay.
I feel like that's amicable. And on that note, let's roll the intro.
Okay, and today on the show, we've got a legend, one of the most amazing producers. She's been in, well, you can tell us later how long you've been in radio. I've had the opportunity to have a TV show with her. We were on TV for a whole year. We did an entertainment show. It was awesome. So I know her very well. Amazing person, amazing friend, amazing mother. Beautiful voice, beautiful person. Radio legend,
Rozanne McKenzie.
What an intro. What an intro. Is there going to be?
Yeah, we put the clap in.
effects?
We'll put the clapping, of course, yeah. The people are clapping this. One person.
Unless you're driving, keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Rozanne, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. When I saw that you guys were going to do a podcast together, I was like, this is going to be gold. And then I got the message. You want to come on? I was like, of course.
Yes. We appreciate it.
So I didn't know you guys had worked together.
Yeah.
I was very, very jealous of that, because I mean we've got a bit of a connection through like the voiceover space, and like you MC a lot and that sort of thing. So I'm like, hey, we have like a cool connection from work thing, and you guys now work together for a whole.
We got a TV show.
Yeah.
It was called
Flits.
which in English means
Flash.
but more like flash news of the week,
Yes.
like tidbits,
Okay.
almost like.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a musical. I thought
No.
you two were in a musical for a
No.
year. Like,
That's coming, right?
Yes,
That
it
is
is
in the
coming.
works.
It is coming.
But it was a show about like light entertainment.
Yeah, arts and culture, entertainment news.
Yeah.
I miss that show.
It was awesome. We interviewed you interviewed like that Australian MasterChef?
I did. And I also interviewed Josh Groban and his dog Sweeney.
Oh, I remember that. No, we had some
Yes.
A-listers, international A-listers
Yeah.
on there.
You know what, Emma? You don't need to be so jealous that Bo and I've worked together. Bo has never been on my radio show. You've been on my radio show twice.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
wow. Oh, wow.
I am
awkward.
feeling a lot better all of a sudden. Thank you. that was a good reminder.
That is awkward.
But on that note, we have to ask the question. As I said, the podcast is called How's Life? So, Rozanne, how is life?
You found me on a strange day. I feel like I'm like, you know that line in Fight Club where he says, you met me at a very strange time in my life. You found me on a strange day. And I say that because life is good. I'm healthy. My kids are great. Chris is great. Everything's good. But I feel I think I'm a little bit browbeaten at the moment by, I guess, the industry and work. Because, I mean, we make our own work and we are the work. So a lot of the time, the decision of whether you're going to get a job is up to someone else. And I've had 3 kind of big disappointments this year.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, and they came kind of in quick succession very recently. So I think I'm a little bit in my feelings about that. Am I actually good? Because it's just, I'm always the bridesmaid. Like I'm that close to it and then I don't get it. And then this morning I had this kind of moment of just gratitude because I got to do a TV show again this year, which I hadn't done for 2 years. I hadn't been on TV for 2 years. And I know the producer very well. She's actually a friend of mine. That's not where I got the job.
Yeah.
And I never actually, in all like the busyness of shooting the show and just trying to make work and do work and earn money and take care of your family, I never actually thanked her for that opportunity and for that experience because I loved it. I love hosting TV. Like that's like of the jobs that I do, that is my favorite one.
Yeah.
So I actually sent her a message and I was like, you know what, I never got around to telling you what an awesome experience it was working with you and for just giving me that opportunity and taking me and my craft and what I can bring to a production seriously. So I think in light of the disappointments, this kind of moment of gratitude just made me go, you know what, it's going to get better. You've done some cool things. There will be other cool things.
Yeah.
But isn't it fascinating how our brain, our beautiful brain that can make up the funny things we write, the cool things you do, the shows you produce. Our brain has the capacity to create these incredible things. But in the same brain, it turns on you and it tells you, oh, you're not good enough. It makes you doubt. All those things, that's not true. Because you wouldn't have been here if you weren't good at what you do.
Yeah.
But still, your brain just turns on you. So sometimes go like, you know what? You're not good. You're not great. And it's just, it's what? Like, how do you conquer that thing? Do you need to like become stronger at like owning it and winning it? But yeah, each day is different with your brain.
It's a weird thing though, because I actually chatted to someone about it at a product launch last night, and I was saying, exactly to your point, we make our own work. And so it's almost like going for a job interview every day. And we get told no every day. And half the time, like, you know, if you go to a job interview and they say, oh, sorry, you don't quite measure up to our skills or what we're looking for, there's a very polite way to not get a job. Whereas in our industry, like sometimes it's harsh. Like sometimes you know the person who does get the job. Sometimes, like, I mean, even for like TVCs, the casting process is brutal, and like people are like, yeah, no, he's fat, he's too fat for it, and you're like, thanks, guys.
I can hear you.
I'm still here. I'm like, so not only do I not get the job, but I also don't like, and I've got a complex about it. In terms of jobs, though, I think the beautiful thing, and we talk about it a lot, learning to say no to things, because again, in that same vein of you don't know when the next job's coming and whatever, so you kind of take things on, and there is a beauty in being confident and believing that the work will come. Like even now, getting to the end of this year, I'm like, cool. So there's lots of MC jobs and stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing in January, but I'm just like, I trust something's going to pull up. Something's going to pull up. It's a wild way to live.
But we had that awkward vibe. We went for the same audition for the same character, which is so strange because we don't look alike at all. I'm super Afrikaans, and we actually found out we were shooting
something else, and then
we were like, we have to go at
we
12.
messaged each other, and I was like, I need to step away. So I'm like, hey, bro, do you mind? I'm going to check with the producer on the thing that we're shooting tomorrow. I have to step out for like a quick hour if that's chilled with you. He's like, no, that's cool. I've also got a meeting that I need to go to. So we're like, okay, cool. That works for everybody. And then turns out like we were both going to the same place for
random.
a callback. I don't know why we weren't honest with each other. Like,
Yeah.
It's like,
It wasn't. It
Secret,
was definitely not because I'm afraid of you. I was like, you're gonna win me. I don't know.
well, no. Well, he did get the job, so.
Well, that is not because I'm better than you. We know how ads work.
Anyways,
We know how ads work.
But that's so funny that you guys, as close as you are, you didn't tell each other. Like obviously, we have to sign NDAs and say, oh, you're not going to mention anything about the casting or whatever. But that I find that with the industry, sometimes people are super cagey, so gatekeepy, cagey kind of.
Isn't it? Don't you think it has to do with work is so scarce sometimes that I don't. If I tell you I'm getting this thing, it's not going to hurt you, but I know there's nothing going on really for you, and it's like I want you to be happy for me, but I don't want to throw in your face. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know.
So we were standing outside the studio the other day, and a couple of voice artists, and we were chatting, and the one lady asked, she was like, how's things going with you guys? And immediately, like, I just want to be like, yeah, no, we're working. Got lots of work, bookings. And like me and the other guy were both like, yeah, things are going on. And she was like, so lucky to hear for you guys. She's like, I'm having the worst time. And she was like, if you guys, like, literally, I'm looking for whatever that can pop up kind of thing. And I was like, whoa, it's so weird to find somebody so transparent like that. And then I was like, actually, as artists, we're never, given that we have probably like the most emotional EQ, why we're so cagey with each other is an absolute mystery.
I've started doing that now. People are like, oh my word, you're everywhere. I see you've been emceeing and you were in Cape Town doing this and you were in this short film that's done so well and whatever. And then I'm like, listen, my kids have got food and the lights are on.
Yeah.
Like, because some years are better than others for people that work in the industry that we do. Because it's a very kind of contradictory thing where you have to go, okay, let me put all the stuff that I'm doing on social media so that people can see that, listen, I can MC, I can be a voiceover artist, I can work in production, I can, like, do all of these things. Because if you don't, they don't know. But now you're putting all the stuff out there and it just looks like it's the gravy train there by you.
Yeah.
You are living. You are just, doing all the things.
Hashtag booked and blessed.
Booked and busy and hashtag blessed.
Okay, I'll ask. So you're super diverse. Is that a case of like you've enjoyed exploring all of these things, or like I'm diverse out of necessity, but I'm lucky enough to enjoy it? What's your take on it?
I agree with that. I'm diverse out of necessity. That's such a good way to put it. And I often say to people, you cannot just do one thing in this industry. You can't. You can't afford it. I always say to people, I can't afford to have a full-time job because all the little small stickies that come in every now and then makes me able to live the life that I live with my family and do the things that we need to do. So I also think that the diversity makes it fun. Yeah. It's never boring. Like 2 days in my life are never the same.
Yeah.
Which it's been, I mean, I've been freelancing properly since 2010.
Sure.
And I've never kind of gone, oh, I don't think I really want to do this anymore. Sometimes I do, like when I have disappointments and I start to think, I'm not good. And I guess we thrive, or I do, we thrive on that kind of excitement of, what's next.
Yeah. Was this always what you wanted to do, in like work in entertainment? You studied drama, right? Musical theatre?
I did drama and history.
So it was this or nothing else? You didn't
then I did an honours in drama, So it was always going to be this, I think. Yeah.
So I don't actually know like your backstory or
take us
Western Cape.
Oh, Western Cape.
Yeah.
Take us back to 2010. What were you doing? How did you transition? What was the deciding factor?
So I actually need to take you back to 2006. So I moved here for a musical theatre contract, which I
Okay.
did for 2 years.
What show?
With the Barnyard. I did Grease.
Oh, snap.
I was one of the pink ladies, and I had to eat a tinky every night for 207 shows. Sometimes on a weekend when we had 2 or 3 shows a day, I would be the tinky eating
That's where the diabetes started.
and that's why I am now. Yes. So I moved here for a musical theatre show. Then I just loved, so we toured the country at the various barnyards. And then I thought, and I was also like very busy. I was super busy. Like I was shooting ads here and there and then doing all of these things. And so I thought, you know what? Joburg is where I want to be. I'm going to full-time move to Joburg. Moved here in 2008. And it was crickets. Like I was calling my mom for petrol money. I was just, literally could pay my rent and then eat 2-minute noodles or jam and bread.
Yeah.
Because
Luckily, yeah, the Tinkies each night.
that
That was 2 years ago.
the Tinky contract was over, Bo. Stay with the timeline. Stay with the timeline.
sorry.
So I came here and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna I'm gonna just get work. I'm gonna act full time and all of these things. And for like 3-4 months, I hadn't done anything. So a friend of mine worked at a casting directing company, and they used to they still do. They do castings for ads and all of that. So I started working there as a casting assistant. And in my time working there, I got, I went to the studios at Mnet still at the time, just as a visit to see now how all of this TV stuff works. And one of the wardrobe stylists, she's actually still there, Annemarie Bronkhorst, she said to me, maar jy praat in Engels en Afrikaans. Wil jy nie 'n audisie doen vir Kwela nie? So I went and I called the production manager, and I went and auditioned for Kwela, and about 2 months later I got the job. And then that was kind of how everything started. And I always wanted to get involved behind the scenes. Like I'm always someone, if I don't know something, I want to learn it. Like I'm not afraid of looking dumb. Like I'm not afraid of being, oh, this is my first time doing this. I'm going to not do it properly, but let me learn. So I started working at Pieter Silvia Productions as a researcher. So that was between 2008 and 2010. And then in 2010, I was like, you know what? I want to freelance full time. Let's see where it goes. And then,
That's incredible.
And the rest is history.
14 years later.
My
yeah,
grandfather always said this on the topic of you saying, but you didn't say you were dumb, but you said something about like.
I'm not
asking
afraid of
questions.
looking dumb.
Yes,
Yeah.
my grandfather always said, if you ask questions, you are dumb. If you don't ask questions, you stay dumb. So don't stop asking questions, dumb people.
Thanks, Bowen.
I feel like we could tweak that to make it sound a little better.
Nah, it sounds fine to me. So can I ask you something on Afrikaans? Is someone in your family Afrikaans? Did you Afrikaans schools?
So my gran...
Jy kan
Kan ek
Afrikaans
meng?
praat, ja.
So my oma, my mom's a single parent.
Ja.
And she was a nurse. She's still a nurse. She's a nurse now in London. She works at Charing Cross Hospital. And it was just always me and her. So when she would have to do night shifts or like weird hours or whatever, I would go and be with my grandparents. So my oma's van die Parel, gebore en getoe, en sy het altyd gesê, ek praat net Engels as ek gedreig word. Like she only spoke Afrikaans to me. So that's kind of where it started. And then when I went to high school, toe doen ek Engels en Afrikaans as eerste taal, en dit was net altyd hoe ons in die familie met mekaar gesels.
Natural almost.
The switching and chatting.
Ja.
That's awesome.
So that's where that comes from, ja.
Hier is iets wat baie interessant is, en ons het oor ons het met Rassie van der Dussen gepraat, en te sê ons as 3 of 2 Afrikaanse mens by mekaar staan en bietjie Afrikaans praat, en 1 Engels ouetjie
Ja,
inkom.
Ja.
Ja.
Ja, kom in. Ja,
Kom in.
Kom in. Dan praat almal Engels.
Yeah, even the
And
two
like-
Afrikaans guys.
Yeah. Okay, even now we could. Okay, we definitely couldn't do this whole podcast episode
But that was
in
incredible,
Afrikaans
dude.
because we
That was
stumbled.
insane.
We
Well
stumbled.
done, well done.
Thank you. Ek probeer nog.
That's
Jy
incredible.
doen
That's
Baie
more
meer
than-
woorde leer. Do you find that like everybody just always defaults to English?
100%. 100%. And I think like generally when people don't know I can speak Afrikaans, dan praat hulle Engels.
Ja.
Then I will go into Afrikaans.
Ja.
Wat jy geleer so mooi Afrikaans praat. If I
Yeah,
had R1
yeah,
for every time.
yeah, that is rough.
That's
And you know what the weird thing about that is people genuinely think it's a compliment.
yes.
They genuinely, nee, jy praat so mooi.
Yeah.
Yes. Ja.
Because I think also, being from Cape Town and being from the Cape Flats, mense dink ek gaan so praat. En ek kan so praat as ek so wil praat.
Ja.
Maar as ek nou met jou gesels, jy praat nie so nie, so ek gaan nou dalk 'n bietjie van 'n code switch doen
Ja.
en ek gaan praat soos wat jy praat.
Ja.
So dit is nie omdat ek skaam is oor waar ek vandaan kom nie.
Ja.
But if the situation doesn't allow it, so maybe I do code switch. I think I code switch a lot. I
Ja.
code switch elke dag van my lewe.
Ja.
You know, but it's not something I'm ashamed of.
Ja.
That's incredible.
That's an interesting thing because like there's a lot of people who have a very negative viewpoint of like assimilation and that sort of thing, and like yeah, talking about the you speak so well, hey?
Yes.
Sure,
Oh,
but
shame, dude.
you speak very well. Eh? Is it saints? Is it saints? And I'm like, no, that's just how everyone spoke in my family kind
Yes,
of thing.
yes.
And then like I like to throw people off by throwing it back to them. I'm like, you also speak really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, but I'm. And then you're
Yeah.
like, you want to finish that sentence?
The other like more
Yeah, but I'm a racist. That's why. That's why I speak so well.
the other kind of more like extreme version of you speak so well. Oh, but you don't look colored.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like,
Yo.
yeah.
All those things that sound like they're supposed to be compliments, but you're like, that is very
That is
very
wild.
not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are you colored?
Yeah, what is that? Is that a question? Is that a statement? Yeah, I.
So sorry, just circling back to like that assimilation thing. Like, it's a survival thing though. Like for me, yeah, at least the way I view it, I feel like it's a survival thing, and it's also inherently human. We're talking about an experiment that people did where you get so generally we walk into an elevator, we turn around and face the door, and they did this experiment where they put actors in the elevator and they faced the back, and people walked in, they turned around naturally, realized everyone else was facing the other way, and then slowly just kind of go with the flow kind of thing. And I'm like, that's humans. We always want to belong to a pack, or you don't want to stand out necessarily, at least for the wrong reasons kind of thing. So I'm like if you blend and change and whatever, hells, if that works for you, that's great. I think as long as you're not doing it like disingenuously or something like that. But
We
yeah.
obviously I don't have your experiences because I'm a white guy, but we adopted a daughter now. She's a black, and we've been starting to get it when people come with the most pure intentions. What language does she speak? And I'm like, well, she can't speak to start off with. She's one, but she's got to speak Afrikaans because we're Afrikaans. And then it's like, no, you need to let her. And it's like, guys, it's our life.
Yeah.
Don't tell people what to do with their kids. It's not cool, but it's like, I know it comes from a good place, but
Yes.
also it's 2024. Maybe learn some boundaries
Yeah.
and know when to say whatever to other people.
Know when to say nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a thing to this morning. It said some people need glue stick rather than chapstick, and I was like, that makes a
Yo,
lot of
deep.
sense, man.
That's fire.
But yeah, it is. It's so funny. Like we talk about like blended families, and like I think it's beautiful, and I'm all for everything. But it gets really weird sometimes when people haven't caught on or understood that you got mixed race families, you got like whatever. You can't just walk into a mall and assume a child belongs to anybody or like whatever.
Yeah.
And some people are achter die.
Yeah. I remember going to the chemist once in our old neighborhood before we moved with James, and he was about maybe 6 months old. And this lady sat next to me, and she was like, "Whose baby is that?" I said, "It's my baby." She was like, "No, that's not your baby." I was like, it's my baby. She's like, no, that's a China baby. I was like,
Yes.
What?
and I wasn't really aware why she said that. If it was the color of his skin or the shape of his eyes, because he's got almond eyes like what I do, right? And I just was like, felt myself wanting to prove to this lady that this is my child. This is not a Chinese baby, or as she put it, a China baby. And I was like, why are you, now in retrospect, why are you doing that? This is my child. I was there when I gave birth to him. This is my child. I don't need to prove to you that this is a baby that's not your baby. And she wouldn't stop. And then I just kind of kept going, no, it's my baby. It's my baby.
That's so insane. Like, I have this thing that I'm always like, about people online, like socially, that make horrible comments, and I'm like, you wouldn't stop in the middle of the day and like tell somebody that they've got like ugly shoes, so why would you do that online? But in the same breath, I'm like, there are actually people who would stop and like say unnecessary things have got
They're so
no
blind
reason.
to the ignorance, and just I don't know what's up with the human race. Like, we just feel like I've got the right to tell you something now about your family or your setup.
Do you know what I actually now that you're talking about your baby, when you and your partner announced that you have a baby and she's a little black girl, I immediately messaged and I was like, if you need help with the hair, I'm here.
Yeah, listen.
Not because I was trying to, but it's not it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
No, Lucinda, that means so much for Lucinda, by the way, really, because you were like the first person to reach out to be like, because it's new for us. Everything's new.
Yes.
And we still have to figure a lot of things out, but that meant a lot.
So it's the offer is still there, but I
appreciate it.
Listen, I might have to phone you about hair also, because we obviously mixed race kids now. They don't have my hair, and they don't have my wife's hair, so we're just guessing games there. It's just like, but we use that Auntie
Jackie's.
Auntie Jackie's, shout out for the sponsor. We're getting a sponsor.
Auntie Jackie's.
And then yesterday I was looking at the products in the bathroom. I was like, oh, it's not Auntie Jackie's, it's Aunt Jackie's. I was
what?
like, have they changed it? No, it's been Aunt Jackie's the whole time.
This is that Fruit of the Loom. This is the Fruit of the Loom conspiracy. Have you ever seen the Fruit of the Loom logo?
Yeah.
And everyone believed it was like the one thing, and then somebody pulled it up, and they're like, no, like maybe we can even bring it up to see the one that we all believed that we saw, the actual one. And I'm like, you look at it, and you're like, I'm 100% sure this is the Fruit of the Loom logo.
I want to ask
shout out
about
Fruit of the Loom.
your radio career. Radio feels like a very feel-good medium where it's like everyone has to be happy and up, like, what do you call it? Let's just say happy. Is that difficult to navigate at times where you don't feel like you're having a great day? Is there a space to be vulnerable and just tell the listeners, guys, it's a shitty day, I'm going to be in this mood and deal with it? Or do you understand that you have to be, for those 4 hours or 3 hours? 4 hours? How long?
3 hours.
Yeah, for those 3 hours, you need to be the better person and uplift the rest of the country's listeners.
I was actually, and obviously that this was going to come up because I am a CrossFitter. So every time I have an interview, I have to say.
Yo, but it's half an hour in. I already brought it up now. Respect.
So I was having a conversation actually with our head coach at the box, and I was just like being really hard on myself because I wasn't getting the things that I was wanting to get. And Mary said to me, she's like, you've got to also look at the stress levels in your life, and you've got to look at your job. And I was like, well, I like my job. It's really fun, and we enjoyed doing our show. And she said, but it's your job to make people feel good.
Yeah.
And that having to be on all the time and be at that level all the time is stressful, and it can get draining. So on our show, we're very honest about things like mental health and how we're feeling. And I mean, with radio, which when I moved into a hosting capacity from just being a contributor on other shows, you are the content.
Yeah.
You can't just get a guest every time and speak to interview people, whatever. Your life is the content. So I think why our show works so well is that we're very honest about the stuff that we go through and the things that happen in our lives. I mean, my kid broke 2 windows in the school holidays.
Cool.
2. When the first one happened, I was like, okay, cool. Seal is broken now. It's, like now he's had this thing. literally a week later, he broke another window.
Like cricket ball or
Soccer ball. He's a great cricketer.
Yeah.
His soccer
Mustn't play soccer.
he loves soccer. He absolutely loves soccer. But cricket and rugby are his two sports that he's exceptional at. But soccer is like, no, one day I'm going to play for Real Madrid. I'm like, boy, it's too late. You're 10. The people that are going to play. Exactly. He was like, yo, I want to be like Lamine Yamal. I was like, Lamine Yamal was already in wherever he plays at Madrid or Barcelona or wherever. He was there when he was 3.
Yeah.
Right?
That is amazing.
Dribbling.
So I was like, bro, sorry.
That's funny.
Killing his dream there. But it's
Yeah, tough love. Let's get the cricket bat. You'll be fine.
But so you talking about like being the content and being open. So I think one of the big things for content creators and people in like our sort of space is that element of authenticity. Because we know there's lots of people who are like, I don't know, I want to use the word fronting, but I feel like that's weirdly too cool for me to use. Maybe there's some people fronting out there, or whatever. But back at the ranch, maybe they're a completely different person and that sort of thing. Have you found like authenticity to be beneficial, or how important is that in your view?
I think authenticity is the only thing I can do, because being fake or fronting, as you say, it must be exhausting.
Yeah.
It must be so tiring having to put on a persona that is absolutely the opposite of you.
Yeah.
And I guess there are people that can do it and have done it for their career and have done it for years, and nobody's seen the wizard behind the thing yet, But like I can't be anything other than what I am, and I think that's helped me not only in my life but in my career as well. Like even on social media, like why are you trying to be something that you aren't, or why are you not? And I think it's hard because facing yourself every day and being happy with who you are. None of us are happy with who we are every day.
Yeah.
And the hard part is embracing that, the good and the bad. But no, fakery is not my vibe. It never has been.
Yeah. I love the topic of the social media kind of thing. I can't remember who said it, but they were saying they keep rocking up and needing to take photos at gigs. It was no. It was Dan Podlansky, and he was saying his wife told him that he has to post, when you're at a gig and stuff.
Because he tours a lot in the UK.
Yes.
And so I was saying, like, I also need to also post, hey guys, I'm emceeing this and whatever. But like, I've been to events. We had an event like 2 weeks ago, and every other person rocked up with like their social media person. I'm like, I don't know a social media person.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's just so, it's so foreign. I nearly said it's weird, and it's not weird, because that's how some people exist, and that's how they make their money, kind of thing. It's super foreign for me to be like overly documenting everything, but then it's also super important. So finding that balance is
But social media is like a lottery ticket these days. Like take that I keep forgetting her name, the Hawk Tua girl, or Hailey.
No one
What's
knows.
her name?
Hailey Welch.
I read this morning. I didn't go and read it up myself. It was the algorithm that fed me the post.
Yeah.
She's worth $12 million. And that was just she was just on someone else's video.
Yes.
She didn't go out to go, okay,
Yeah.
make sure the lighting is like do a little dancey. She
So-
just said something random.
She's worth 12 bar.
Yep,
So
that's
the
what
guy that made the video, we don't even know his name.
he's walking around
He's
and looking for her.
walking
I don't remember me. She's like, nope.
Who are you?
Yeah, but I mean, she started a podcast. There's merchandise. She does
Yes.
speaking engagements. I don't know what she says, but
She bowled the first pitch at a baseball game.
Oh,
and
yes.
then people were like, oh, who are you? But people want to see her and they want to see what she's like as a person, aside from those two words that...
that's what I'm saying. It's like a lottery ticket. You don't know.
Yeah.
You're gonna scratch. Sometimes someone's gonna scratch on your behalf because her story. But sometimes you do something silly, and then like that. I'm looking for a man in finance.
Yes.
That song was with David Guetta at the end.
Yes.
And it's just ridiculous. These random little sayings.
Yes.
Because Louis Theroux.
Yes.
Jiggle jiggle.
Or like demure, mindful, cutesy. It was just someone in her car saying these things. But on your point, Temba, the thing of the social media element of, I guess, what we do, right, is that that's now another job
Yeah.
that we have to take on when that is not our job. I have a friend, social media content creation and strategy is her job.
Yeah.
She plans out when she's going to shoot. She plans her look. She plans her makeup. She plans who she's going to shoot with. And that is her job.
Yeah.
And I just feel like in a good way, I guess, as well, because now we can all edit now because we can just edit on our phones. And I mean, that was something that people didn't have the skill. We could all like put a song over a thing. And that was something like wild back in the day, that someone's job was actually to edit and then edit the music and whatever. So I think we are picking up additional skills that we wouldn't have had, which is the good side of it.
Yeah.
But also to expect me as who I am and the things that I have going on in my life to be as good a social media creator as someone whose job that is, I think that's a little bit unfair. And I've spoken about this a couple of times, where your number of followers now dictates the kind of work that you are offered, dictates whether you are seen for an audition, dictates how seriously people take you. Oh, your follower count is low, because that is not my job.
That is such a hard hitting thing that I think a lot of people don't understand. And I remember I think I had like 3,000 followers on my Insta
before you blew up.
Now we're big. Now we're big on Instagram. But I didn't take it very seriously. And I remember rocking up at an audition, and we filled out the regular information, which is your height, name, agency, previous work, whatever, and then it was social media following, and I was like, what the hell is this? And that's when it dawned on me. And we see it all the time. And you're like, it's the industry. Even I was reading an article about DJs, concert DJs. One of the big guys was saying, it's not about talent anymore. It's just whoever can spin a tune and shake a bum, and that's tickets, and that's it. Which is, I'm happy for people, but I don't think there's longevity in it. And also, I don't like it.
But the irony is, like, fame and influence is not the same thing. Like, you can have 1 million followers, and sometimes I don't think have an influence in people's lives. And then you can have less followers, but have like way more influence in people's lives. But the brands don't look at it that way.
No.
They just look at it. I want to let that person make a post. I want to get the ad code boosted. I just want to hit that whatever 100,000 followers. I don't care about all the semantics. But it's a whole new job that when we were all kids, none of this existed.
Yes.
When I worked at university right after I studied, they sent me on an editing course for a week in Johannesburg. I think it cost like 15,000 rand to learn to edit.
But that's what I'm
now,
saying.
When you're 10, you get a phone. There's an app there that can edit 1,000 times better than even anyone sitting behind a computer.
Yeah.
And what kind of jobs are going to be there when our kids are like our age?
Yeah, I was actually chatting about that to Rob yesterday on the show. And he was like, how exciting to know that James and Fallon are going to have careers one day and they're going to be doing something that's probably not playing for Real Madrid or being a professional ballerina.
So doubling down on that.
Hard. So it's just, and I love that I, like, as a parent, I kind of get to go on that journey with them and see what their interests are and where they'll end up,
So I want to ask you about the fame element and home life kind of thing. So one of the things people ask me, they're like, when we chat to you, so normal, hey? How do you stay grounded? And I'm like, because I've got 2 toddlers at home and I'm their servant. That is what grounds me at the end of the day kind of thing. So the question is, do your kids like recognize that you're famous? Like, is that part of your guys' world at all?
They listen to the show and they know I'm on radio and stuff. But I remember one day I was still doing quite a lot of TV. Please, TV, come back into my life.
Shout out to TV.
Shout out to TV.
reach out.
My social media handles are. And James was about 5. And he said to me, we were watching the show that I was on, and he said to me, Mommy, why are you on TV? Are you a personal injury lawyer? And I was like, what on earth? Because he'd watched some like a Disney movie or whatever, and one of the characters was one of those, did you get hit by a car? No, call me, no. And it was like an ad that he'd seen. So he just made that connection. So I think they do know that I am in the media. They keep saying to me, "Are you a celebrity? Are you a celebrity? Can you go on The Masked Singer?" I would love to. Can you go on The Masked Singer? And I was like, I always say this to them. I say, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a presenter. And the work that I do happens to either be on TV or be on radio.
Yeah.
And then they'll speak about the big names that actually are celebrities. I've never ever thought of myself as a celebrity, and I think that that's great.
Yeah.
Because I can go to the Woolies without a face beat. I can, like, you know, just do things that, because people don't, the people that know my work,
Yeah.
but random people won't go, "Oh my word, look at you, you have a pimple on your head.
Yeah.
You didn't look like that in your social media post."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I like
that. That You magazine, you know, that always like, oh, look how so-and-so looks on the beach this year compared to last year. You're like, leave people alone, man. Like, that's just a natural process of life.
I would hate it if someone just took a photo of me on Margate Beach and you just watch look like an ice cream. I'm like, why? Like, why? I don't even look great, but even if I did look good, I was like, why, dude? I was just chilling.
But it's the same as like sports things. Like,
Yeah,
we always
exactly.
joke about, you know, the South African with his beer in his hand and his popcorn shouting about, "Oh, you kick miss, you guys need to be better."
Yes,
It's like,
yes,
why
yes.
are we so into commenting about other people's lives? Out of interest though, so we obviously know CrossFit, big thing. Look, work is multifaceted. What other things, or even if you didn't have this life, what do you think you would have done? Where do you
Musician.
think
Did you ever record a song? You got a beautiful voice. Did musical theatre?
Thank you. I think if I wasn't doing this, I love the open road. So I
Okay.
think I'd be like a long distance
Driver.
truck driver
What?
or something,
Wow,
or even
you were
like
totally wrong with your kids.
like a delivery
yeah.
driver. I
That's-
love driving,
Yeah.
and also I have 2 children in my house, so I love silence.
Okay.
So
Love driving away from the house.
Exactly. I'll be back in a week, guys. I've got to drop this off in Beaufort West. I'll see you soon.
That's great.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you think I was going to say? A musician?
I was gonna make the joke to say like a Intercape driver, like a bus driver, and then you said the truck driver. I was like,
Yes.
damn. But I was wondering about music, because I mean, that was a big part of your love. I'm guessing you took the first musical theatre job because you like singing as well
Yeah.
and acting and involved everything. But if it was ever if you attempted to do a song, or have you ever done a song?
I have not officially done a song. I'm lying, right? There was this thing when Rian van Heeren was still hosting the Scenic Drive. They had this feature on their show called Office Idols. So they found random people in Jacaranda that they were like, "Come, you must audition for Office Idols. You must audition for." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Were you singing loud then, like around the office, just to try and get
No,
making
we had
coffee?
to
La, la, la,
actually
la.
like record it and then send a little voice note and whatever. And then I won Office Idols. And Joe at that point was quite friendly with Narc Music and another producer. And Joe was like, and then when I won it, Joe was like, "Oh, we've got an extra surprise for you." I was like, "I just want to like crawl into a hole now." You're going to record a song with Narc Music and whatever. So we actually did end up recording the song. Nothing happened with it because, I don't know, the producer didn't want to give the beat or whatever. And I really did enjoy it, but I don't know. I would love to sing more. I mean, last year I said I wanted to act more, and I got the chance to be in this short film called Marisa Laaste Dag. So who knows? Like, I have this thing where I'm a little bit hesitant to put like art out there because there are people out there that do it so much better already. But then I always go, but nobody sounds like me.
Yeah, there's always people better than us. It's a human. It's a fact.
Yes.
There's people smarter than Elon Musk. Bad example, but Elon Musk. I mean, even the smartest people. There's people smarter than what is the guy and that was on
Steven.
the Epstein
Steven.
Island.
Oh.
That same guy.
You have to
Sorry.
cut that out.
Stephen Hawking. He was on the island.
How is he the only guy that's...
I didn't want to say the guy in the
word.
wheelchair, so that's why I went for the guy on the island.
Yeah, because
But-
that's a better reference.
My point is, that was on the list. My point is, listen, I don't want to be controversial. I want to be sincere here. There's always going to be people better than us. Better sounding than me,
Podcast is
funnier
tanked
than
before we
Stefan.
got off the ground.
Dang. Do you know what I'm thinking about now?
Yes, you guys are too
You know
sensitive.
those guys James and Fuad from Shits and Gigs.
No.
They have this massive podcast. They're UK based, the two of them, and it's got a huge following. And then they go to America, and I think they were on a show with a guy called Andrew Schultz, or
Wow.
a guy that's a pretty
Terrible
controversial guy.
Bro.
And he was making jokes, and they laughed at the jokes.
Oh, no.
And people were like, cancel.
Yeah.
Shits and Gigs, James and Fuad. No.
way.
I did not laugh at the Hawking joke
I just
about
want
the
to say,
island.
I didn't
I
read it as a
didn't-
joke. It's
I
a
didn't-
list that's out there. I want to say, start again.
No. So the list isn't out there. Apparently,
It
they're
is.
supposed to produce a list, and then
Didn't
like
you see
it
it now,
crashed.
all the memes that the list was out?
We did see, but we pretended we didn't because now we're going to get in trouble for talking about it.
Okay, but all I want to say is there's always going to be people better looking, better singers. But that's not the point. The point is people like uniqueness, people like hardworking people as well. Majority of the people in any industry, I think, is just working harder than other people, I think.
Yeah,
sometimes.
putting in the work, and I think that's one thing that we've chatted about a little bit, but I think people don't realize how much work this life takes. And I mean, I think that's in respect to anybody's career. Actually, you've got a boss who expects you to be at a place at a certain time. Then you've got all the things happening in your life with your kids and whatever, and then you've got everybody's got family issues, and you're trying to like wax all of that stuff out. Like being a human being, it's always been hectic, but it's like super hectic in the modern age because just things are coming at you so fast. And then, yeah, like I say, without the stability of knowing exactly where you go to work every day, that kind of juggles things up a little.
Can I ask you about parenting advice? You've been a parent longer than us.
Yeah.
You're 3 years now a parent. Ne?
Yeah, so collectively I have 3 years of experience.
Yeah, I've got, almost a year.
Between the two of us, we have 4 years of experience, so you are far better qualified.
What's the
than
best parenting experience you received or that you can share with us that you've learned yourself?
Don't listen to anyone.
us. Yeah.
Don't listen to anyone because I have 2 kids and they are so different that you can't just kind of copy and paste what worked for the one, worked for the other one. It's just I always think of it this way. You might not be the best parent in the world, but you are the best parent in the world for those kids.
Yeah.
For the kids that you have.
Yeah.
So what you decide for them while they are still in their formative years is always going to come from the place of the person that loves them the most.
Yeah.
So just cut the noise out. And I see this a lot with first-time moms especially. Oh, so-and-so said I must do this, and this person said I must do this, and then when the baby's crying, I must do the... Just...
Yeah, follow your own.
Babies cry, man.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
I mean, we cry.
We cry. I cry.
Yeah, the big.
I don't cry.
The biggest
I don't
mistake.
cry, but we've been through this. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're working.
Yeah, wait till you see Twilight. Before Larry came home, I was that guy that was like, I'm gonna be so different. I'm gonna do it this and this and this way. And I had a conversation with Misha Lewitz, which was Misha organized like all the Oppie-Koppies. It's like a very big in events and music.
I've been on stage with you, Misha.
But shout out Misha. And Misha was like, congrats on Lyric. And I was like, yeah, thanks, man. I'm just excited to just go yes and. Because in improv comedy, the number one rule in improv comedy is yes and.
Yeah.
So you come up with a suggestion and I say, yes, and then we go to this. So you take the story forward and then you
Yes.
find the magic. And I was like, that's how I'm going to be. I'm going to be that parent. Yes, and everything until we find it. And I think... 1,000 times a day at the moment I'm like, nope, don't do that. Nope, get away from that knife. Nope, put that down. I'm like, I don't think I've said yes and this whole week. Just because I don't know, she's at that age and she's just like, where's the most dangerous chemicals in the house? Where's the sharpest knife?
Take me there.
Like finding things, but it is like life is beautiful and it's a beautiful balance. And I think, like I say, I look back and I often. I think it's kind of full circle of where the conversation started is going, I want so much more, but I'm so blessed at the moment. But trying to be grateful for what you've got, but then still stay motivated is just, it's a tough.
The motivation thing is for me challenging. Even this week, like I love doing this podcast. It brings me so much joy just to put something out there. And I've got my Afrikaans podcast as well. Like putting things out there is medicine for me. But to get me to do this, to sit here, it's like, it's all the brain work and it's not an insecure thing. I don't know if it's, I don't want to say the word lazy because I want to be nicer to myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that works for you. Like with the dreams you have, the goals you want to pursue, the TV show that you're saying now, or the stuff you need to create yourself as a producer. Do you find that tough to like have that inner conversation of like, okay, Rosie, come on, freaking hype yourself?
Absolutely. It's so hard sometimes for me to go and chase the stuff that I need to chase, right? Like I do coaching for presenters and voiceover artists and people that want to learn how to public speak and all of that kind of thing. And that is something that I enjoy so much, but trying to like market it and trying to just get it out there is something that I'm not motivated to do, but something that I feel I should do more of. And the same thing for there's this thing that there's a book, a South African novel called Mermaid Fillet, that my company has had the rights to for a while to do a screen adaptation of.
Nice.
And we have submitted it to various channels and whatever, and it's just been like a no. And it's been years of this thing. So now I do kind of have a bit of like maybe it's just not it. Maybe it's not for me to make this thing. Maybe it's someone else that's bigger and better and more experienced and whatever. And then I do get a bit like, oh, no, I don't really want to work on looking at other development funding options and this and that and the other thing, because it's just going to be a no, because I've had no's, so now everything's going to be a no. Yeah. So it is very difficult, I find, for myself to try and just keep pushing. Like it's hard.
Do you guys have life coaches? Do you believe in that stuff?
I definitely. So I'm fixated on this idea that artists need business people or like business-minded people. Same with like charities. You know, you got a charity person super passionate about like feeding kids, but then like they spend all the money and then next week nobody's getting fed because the whole idea got run into the ground. So I think that's completely it. Same thing, and it ties back to doing our own social media and stuff. I just want to MC things, and I want to act, and I want to but I don't want to go and find the work and have to like tell people that I've been doing this work. I just want to get up and like do the creative part. And I think that's the important part of like having an agent and maybe having like a business manager or something. And that goes for anyone who's creative or like in like a passion project or something. You need someone who's like, hey, Boa, you must go do the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, so
we need a boss. That's the thing. We're all just craving a boss again.
Looking for a life coach.
I want to, as a closer, just speak
finance.
about. Rozanne was in a. Did you win an award at Silver Cat and Fierce for the? You did a script, didn't you win script?
Best script and best cinematography, and then best. But I didn't produce that.
Oh,
I didn't produce it.
Oh,
I was just in it.
Okay.
It was Lorenza.
Yeah, and Mercy.
Eckhart and Mercy wrote it, and then it was produced by Wynette Tiaart.
Okay.
So their company wrote and produced it. No, I was just lucky enough to be in it.
And but how was it to act again? Because it's the first time in what? How many years?
Long. Since 2021. I did a short film in 2021 with a director called John O'Hall. We shot it in 2021, and it's actually been nominated for a SAFTA for Best Short Film this year.
That's insane. But the premise, if you want to explain the premise quickly of the short film.
So Marisa Laaste Dag it's a period piece, which is shocking because 1994 was now 30 years ago. Yeah. So it's a period piece based on that kind of transition from the National Party government to the government of national unity. So where all the ministers are like now having to either swap or like be friends and work on a portfolio together. And it follows a woman called Marie. And Marie's been working in Meneer van der Merwe se kantoor basically her whole life. And that's all she knows. And then in comes Minister Kumalo and then my character Tanding Lacey. And her whole world kind of gets changed. So it's a couple of days in her life and how she started to see things differently and do things differently. And it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Lorenza, Mercy, and the whole team just did an amazing job.
It was beautiful. I think people can check it on show. I watched it on Catch Up.
It's on Catch Up still.
I think it'll go on Showmax eventually.
Yeah, in a couple of months.
Yeah, I think by the time maybe it comes out.
Well, I will be sure to give it a
awesome,
little squiz.
It's beautiful.
So to end off with though, I know it's always the cliched thing and go, what's next? what's next for Rosie? But what are you excited about? Or actually, even better, what is a moment in your career that you've just absolutely, like, what's a standout moment that you've absolutely loved? Like, be it interviewing a particular person or presenting a particular thing. Is there anything that was just like a wow moment?
I loved Flitz. Flitz was, and I'm not saying that because you're sitting next to me.
Yeah.
I promise.
Sus.
I loved doing Flitz because it was live, and I love live TV. And it was also kind of very much in my wheelhouse in terms of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So arts and culture, entertainment, theatre, music, just all of that kind of thing. And it was just a real buzz to have every Thursday night I go and get to work with this guy and do this really cool show. And then after that, as a kid, I always wanted to be a newsreader. Always wanted to be a newsreader. And in 2018, I got a job on a show called Nistag, which was on one of the NCA channels. And I got to anchor news and do it in Afrikaans. And
That's incredible.
I was living my dream. So that was definitely a highlight for me while it lasted.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly tell a story about the live? I forgot it was live, actually, Flitz. The most difficult thing about live TV is you got the director in your ear, right? So, and those shows, it was a half an hour show,
We were an hour and then we went down to half an hour.
So those things are timed to the T. So I've got 5 minutes with you, and they load like 8 questions in there.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to you, and the guest is busy talking about their parents' divorce or something sad, and the director goes, "Okay, ask them about their dog." So you can't follow up and like, "Shame, man, I hope you're right." You're like, "Okay, cool. And how about that puppy at home?" It's like the worst to juggle, like listening, and then this person in the ear going, "Okay, next question." Yeah, it was rough times sometimes.
I had to like ring announce like a big event once, and it's the first time that I've had to work with in ear. But like, it wasn't even just the producer; it was like
You had the whole
everyone.
box.
And I mean, look, the dark side of production that nobody ever knows about is there's swearing, and we need to get things done ASAP. So the harder you swear, the faster it'll get done. And I'm there, I'm like, "Ladies and gentlemen," and in my ear, the sound guy or like some dude under the stage somewhere, he's unplugged something, and the director's going off, and da, you flipping fix it right now, and I'm like, "It is so lovely to be here tonight," and I'm just hearing it's chaos behind there, and you're just keeping the straight face in front. But I think in the spirit of news anchory, live stuff, I don't know if you've got a last thing, but I definitely think you need to sign us off.
Yeah.
And
Promote your radio show and tell everyone tot ziens in your most news anchory persona.
see it.
Make sure you listen to The Drive with Rob and Roz every weekday from 4 to 7 on Jacaranda FM. If you don't have access to a radio that has Jacaranda, you can go and stream us live on jacarandafm.com. Thanks for joining us on How's Life with Temba and Robin. Temba and Robin. Temba and
Yes!
I was so focused on getting it right. Temba and Bowen. Okay.
I've won.
Wait.
I've won. You got that audition, but I've won.
Temba and Robin. Thank you for joining us on How's Life with Temba and Bowen.
Like Batman's real name was actually Temba. Temba and Robert.
Cheers, guys.